Namaste and welcome viewers to another brand new episode of Mirror Prime. I'm Ashish Pareek and of course we'll be talking about something that's quite revealing. Kolkata has now emerged as India's most congested city in 2024 according to the traffic index released by TomTom, which is a Dutch location technology specialist. In fact, in previous years, Bengaluru, as a lot of you might expect, was India's most congested city. However, in 2024, Kolkata has overtaken Bengaluru to claim the title of India's most congested city. The report highlights that drivers in Kolkata needed an average of 34 minutes and 33 seconds to cover a distance of 10 km last year. Bengaluru, on the other hand, followed closely with an average travel time of 34 minutes and 10 seconds for the same distance. We'll be discussing this in detail and trying to understand what exactly is happening across Indian cities, across Indian metros, because this is not just a Bengaluru or a Kolkata issue, it's a nationwide issue. But before we go to our guest today, let's go across my colleagues. Shreya Mondal, who's joining us from Kolkata, Neha Hebbale from Bengaluru. Shreya, we'll first start with you because looks like the title has been taken by your city, Kolkata. Help us understand what's happened in the last 1 year. Have there been any such development projects, infrastructure projects that have come about in Kolkata, or is this complete mismanagement coming to the fore now?
Well, of course, we see over the past year the KMC have tried to develop the situation. They have tried to extend the lanes. However, Kolkata has become the congested city, the most congested city in India. I have few residents here, and remember, this report is not taking the residents by surprise given the fact that it takes 34 minutes and 33 seconds for the people to commute. Let me go across to them. In fact, we see that Kolkata overtakes Bangalore, and it really doesn't come as a surprise. So how you're reacting to the entire report?
As you can see here, these things are, day-to-day life. It's very normal nowadays, and we can't really say something because it takes, it takes very long to just reach one point. And I guess people should be more aware and be more responsible about the traffic systems and how they are parking their cars. That is the most difficult thing here, and I think these are very, it's up to your own. You have to be enough self-aware of yourself that you are going somewhere and everything. And I am facing these issues while coming into universities, and this is day-to-day life. It has become very normal for us. We are not taking it that much seriously. That we should take that. I don't know why people are not taking this seriously, and I hope this issue should be, lesser in few moments or few months. I don't know. I don't think that ये issue इतना जल्दी sort out हो सकता है, but I hope so, कुछ हो, and I don't know. People are not enough bothered about this situation.
So of course you can hear that enough awareness is required, and this does not come as a surprise as well. Let me go across to you as well. Tell me, we see that when it comes to the city police, they say that there is no proper road infrastructure and several other reasons why there is a congestion. So what are the problems you are facing?
I mean, the traffic system and the parking system is very corrupted here. There is not a basic system of parking. No, तो कोई लोग गाड़ी रखने के लिए कुछ parking नहीं है. तो and the main problem is maybe the private cars. There is not as much the buses or autos. Or in Kolkata, autoraj is very bad. If you journey from to Baghajutin or to Goriahat, the auto system is very bad. There is everywhere the autos and the totos. I think that is a problem.
So of course you can hear that the rise in the app cab services is also, giving addition to the problems. Of course, we heard the residents, and this does not come as a surprise, and more awareness should be there.
Absolutely, Shreya. Helplessness is what we are understanding from the residents there, and none of them are surprised to know that Kolkata is the most congested city in India. In fact, joining us right now is also Neha Hebbale. Neha, I don't think you'd be very sad seeing Bengaluru lose this particular title, because Bengaluru traffic has been infamous across the nation, and the fact that someone has overtaken Bengaluru in terms of traffic, well, that might be news to a lot of people in Bengaluru.
Yes, आशीष will try getting in some voices of commuters here. सर, आज एक सर्वे किया है जिसमें कहा है कि बेंगलुरु का ट्रैफिक पूरे दुनिया में 3rd वर्स्ट है. सर, आपका क्या कहना है इस पे?
100% सही है. बहुत ज्यादा हो गया ट्रैफिक बेंगलुरु में.
जी, ओके. Well, Ashish, Ashish, of course, we had a commuter there who was agreeing with this. We'll go back to some commuters, but before that, I'd like to show you the efforts that have been put in by the traffic police to try and curb the traffic. Now, one of the ideas, in fact, that was proposed here was these AI or these artificial intelligence signals that you actually see in many parts of the city. Now, unfortunately, here at this busy junction of Baneghatta Road in Bangalore that we're at, this very AI signal has, in fact, not been working. It's been controlled manually now, defeating the entire purpose itself of putting these signals in place. Now, of course, there are a host of other measures as well that the traffic police on its part has been taking up. But the fact is that, while, of course, Bengaluru may still be ranking third here on that list, its positioning has increased over the years, essentially hinting at the fact that there may have been, of course, some improvement in the traffic conditions across the city. We'll try and get in a couple of more voices here from a few commuters, if possible, at this point, and understand from them, whether, of course, there has been any sort of change here at all in the traffic situation across the city. We'll quickly try and take this across to a few commuters. Remember, of course, a very busy stretch that we're at right now. We'll just quickly try and get in a few voices here of people at this point, if we can. Sir, मुझे आपसे पूछना है, बैंगलोर का ट्रैफिक आज दुनिया में, पूरे दुनिया में थर्ड लिस्ट पे है सर, वर्स्ट ट्रैफिक के हिसाब से आपका क्या कहना है इस पे?
ट्रैफिक तो ओवर ही है, उस पर क्या भी कर सकते हैं, मैं क्या कह सकता हूँ मैडम।
सर, अभी कई साल पहले बैंगलोर नंबर 1 या नंबर 2 रैंक पे था, अभी 3 पे आया है। आपको लगता है कि इतने सालों में थोड़ा ट्रैफिक का सिचुएशन बेटर हुआ है?
थोड़ा बढ़ के है ट्रैफिक अभी।
Sir, if I can ask you as a commuter very quickly, do you feel the traffic situation has improved in Bengaluru over the past
No,
few
I
years?
don't think so. It has quite remained the same, I guess so. Because based on my experience, like it was more or less the same.
All right, thank you so much. Well, Ashish, of course, we've tried depicting the ground reality here, talking to commuters, talking to, of course, auto drivers, talking to the common man who gets impacted by this traffic the most. We'll really have to wait and see as far as, steps like these AI signals have been taken, as far as steps like that are concerned, the implementation on ground, how effectively it's done, and what other steps, of course, are put in place in order to ensure that commuters at the end of the day have a hassle-free commute.
Absolutely. Neha, appreciate you joining us on the broadcast there, getting us voices of the people who actually are going through the issues that we're discussing today. And also, Shreya, appreciate you joining us from Kolkata, getting us all those updates. So, viewers, one thing is very clear. You just saw the ground reports there, and it rarely happens that any of these surveys, any of these rankings, people do agree with. But you just saw there, people do agree with the fact that Bengaluru and Kolkata are really congested. And the issue here is that it's not just about Bengaluru and Kolkata, it's about issues in metros across the nation. It's an issue that is plaguing every developing city in the country. So there is something fundamentally wrong that we are doing. What is that? What's the solution? What's the way forward? That's going to be the crux of the debate today. Joining us right now, Rohan Mitra, who's a political analyst from Kolkata, Dr. Sudhir Krishna, former Secretary, Ministry of Urban Development, and Sandeep Anirudhan, who's a founder of Citizens Agenda for Bengaluru. I'll, of course, first start with Rohan Mitra. Rohan, you just heard there people from Kolkata talk about how helpless they feel. Now, traffic has always been an issue in Kolkata. It's nothing new. But the fact that Kolkata has now overtaken Bengaluru, are you surprised?
Very good evening, Ashish. Very good evening to all your panelists and your viewers. Very honestly, this is very arbitrary, I would think, in the sense that I think that Calcutta, Bangalore, Bombay, Delhi, the traffic is really bad. In peak hours, office time, the congestion, it would be really bad. I would not go too much into the ranking, but I would first want to tell you that it is a bad situation because of the urbanization which is happening. I live in Kolkata. I've studied in Bangalore. In 2001 to 2003, the whole Whitefield, Shajapur area was barren land in Bangalore, and now it has become developed. So the whole roads have expanded there. So maybe because of that, Bangalore is doing slightly better because the city has expanded. Calcutta, for that matter, the city hasn't expanded to the way it should have expanded in the last 10 years. We have a very congested areas like Bara Bazaar, we have central Kolkata, and we have and the fact of the matter is, I would think one of the reasons why the congestion has gone so much is that we've had a lot of construction work. Like if you know the metro, We've been connecting our metro to the airport. We are connecting the metro to our main, the station hubs like Shialda and Howrah. So all these construction work which was going on, that has really affected it. The last and you see the KMC, the Kolkata municipality, they have had to take this task of dropping the trams, which was like a heritage and identity of Kolkata, because of the reason the trams had their own fixed path, and they are very old and they wouldn't get out of that path, and the roads are
Right.
not getting any broader, so the cops have had to stop them. And as a citizen, I feel bad about it, but as we are going forward with more and more population who are not using the tram and as just as a heritage, I think the KMC would have to take certain decisions which will the people might feel sad about, but the common man, in if you see it in a whole purpose, maybe it's a better decision for the city. Even like if you see the yellow cabs which have gone
Absolutely.
down, if you see the buses, which has gone down because a lot of people
Absolutely.
you keep.
Rohan, you're talking about the cabs, you're talking about the trams. All those will be discussed today on the show. But meanwhile, let's also get in Sandeep Anirudhan, who's a resident of Bengaluru, who's on multiple shows spoken about the issue with traffic in Bengaluru. Sandeep, you just had a look at the rankings here. How surprised are you with the rankings? Because the menacing Bengaluru traffic losing its crown itself is news. Now, we saw one of our colleagues there on the ground talking about how there's an AI traffic signal, but the problem is it's not working. It is now being handled manually. So, even if Bengaluru has improved, the best that it has managed to do is number 3 in the world.
Ashish, I beg to differ with the TomTom rankings. I feel it's faulty. Bengaluru is actually the most congested in the world, perhaps. It should be right on top. And frankly speaking, London should not figure in the list. And I'll tell you why this ranking is wrong. The only parameter they've taken is how much time it takes to travel on a road.
Sandeep,
Now,
London, sorry to
a
interrupt
city
you,
like
London was
London
at
has
number 1 last year.
multiple avenues. Beg your pardon?
It's number 5 now.
Can you repeat, Ashish?
I was telling you, Sandeep, that London was on number 1 last year. Now it's number 5.
Exactly. I feel the TomTom rankings are wrong because they only take one parameter. It is how much time you take to travel on a road. A city has multiple modes of transport. London has underground, it has suburban train, it has excellent bus services and cab services. So they should take a weighted average on how much time it takes for any resident of a city to travel from point A to point B on any one of these modes of transport. If you take that as a parameter, that is how much
Right.
time it takes a person to travel from
Right.
one point of a city to another point of a city, regardless of modes of transport, then you'll get a good indicator as to how good the mobility in a city is. The problem with TomTom ranking is it's a car service provider. It provides solutions for car manufacturers. So it's obsessed only with car travel. So basically, the TomTom is a car travel index. So it only tells you how much time it will take you to travel in a car from point A to point B. Now, Calcutta actually has much better public transport than Bengaluru. It has a very good underground metro. It has suburban rail. It has a very good bus service. Bengaluru is backward on all of these parameters. So there is no way Bangalore can be, no way Calcutta can beat Bangalore in actual mobility. So basically, that is why I feel this TomTom ranking is absolutely wrong. They need to update their parameters. They should
Absolutely,
actually have a
absolutely, Sandeep.
mobility parameter.
I totally agree with you there. That's an interesting point that you're raising. It's not just about vehicles going from point A to point B. It's also about how people go from point A to point B. And I think multiple things also come into the picture when they talk about it. And I think you should very quickly start a petition to get Bangalore to number 1 back again. And I hope you'll do that as well. But meanwhile, let's also go across to Dr. Sudhir Krishna. Dr. Sudhir, now you've been a part of the Ministry of Urban Development. You understand what exactly are the issues, the sort of challenges that are faced, and a lot of this has to do with planning. The planning is where everything goes wrong. In your opinion, is this an infrastructural issue? Is this a policy issue? Or is this just a classic example of unplanned growth, which has gone terribly wrong? Because, you have more people and vehicles now in metros in India, but the roads in these cities haven't kept up. They are decades old. They're still just as narrow as they were. There's development, but the roads aren't widened.
Well, I think First of all, thank you for inviting me to this very important theme discussion. And Ashish, the challenge is not only in city planning, but also in city infrastructure also. So infrastructure in the sense that the two types of infrastructure. One is like viaducts and flyovers, underpasses, which reduce the congestion, and also the mass transportation system like metro rails and buses. Delhi is much better. We have not discussed the status of Delhi, but I have been, all of us have been observing Delhi. It has improved significantly over the last 10 years,
Dr.
particularly.
Sudhir, you might be surprised to know, now you're talking about Delhi here, you might be surprised to know that Delhi is ranked 122nd. I mean,
Yes.
I know how much traffic there is in Delhi, and if Delhi is ranked 122, I can't even imagine the traffic in Kolkata and Bengaluru. Either this ranking is completely off the mark, or Delhi is doing something incredible.
No, see like this. I mean, we have all seen that all cities are making efforts. But look at the metro rail system in Delhi. We have got more than 350 kilometers of metro rail system operating in Delhi. Whereas in Kolkata, it is 48 kilometers only, in Bangalore, 75 kilometers. And we have to see the length of metro rail with reference to the population. So if we take the ratio of per lakh
Okay.
population to metro rail lengths, Delhi will be almost a kilometer per lakh population, 350 kilometers of metro rail and 340 or 50 lakh of population. So it works 1 kilometer per lakh
Right.
of population, and the ratio in Kolkata, Mumbai, Bangalore is half or even less than that. So I think mass transportation system reduces the traffic congestion substantially, which is a known fact. I think more investment is required. Delhi, it was given more. Delhi moved farther, faster because it started earlier, and also it is like it somehow the government of Delhi and the government of India pushed it harder. State governments are also doing Bangalore and Mumbai and Kolkata and Pune. Everywhere metro is working, but I think they have to do much more. That is number one. And number two, the buses system. The bus system has also to improve. And the more buses should be on the road. Unfortunately, most cities have not given attention to bus system. BRTS system was started, but somehow it did not pick up. So mass transportation system is on the second thing. Thirdly, the road maintenance, the footpath maintenance, that also has to be seen. So if you see many cities, the width in Bangalore, unfortunately, the walkability has reduced. The road width has increased, but the walkability has, so people
Absolutely.
are walking on the
Absolutely.
street at the time. In all cities, the problem is there. Only degree varies. So the problem is critical in our country. I mean, London we can compare, but London situation is different. Our country cities can be compared. So in our cities, there is no proper, street vending zone. So therefore, street vending is happening on the footpath and around the roads also, on the roadsides also. Vehicle parking is on the roadside unplanned. So all this is leading to traffic congestion. I think it is very
Right.
much possible
Absolutely. There are multiple
that.
issues, Dr. Sudhir, and we'll, of course, discuss about all these. Now, again, a very interesting point that you raised here is about public transport and how this could be a significant contributor to decongesting multiple cities. But Rohan Mitra, now the West Bengal government decided to discontinue the legacy tram service, and like you rightly pointed out, this is a decision that was taken due to difficulties. Now, of course, the argument that was coming in from the government was that vehicles and trams sharing the same road, it was contributing to congestion. There were massive traffic jams during the peak hours. But do you think this is a step in the wrong direction? Do you think discontinuing trams actually has increased congestion?
Ashish, very honestly, I'm against the TMC in my political thing, but as a citizen of my city, I would want to see that in hindsight, if as you said, the roads haven't widened, in the main areas, of central Kolkata, where there is very high density of people and cars, to have trams, no matter how important they were to our heritage and our cultural outlook. The debate about trams has been that we should have few routes which are which kind of keep the heritage up. But I don't think anyone would be complaining that in the main streets of Kolkata the trams are no longer there right now, if you're being factual. Also, one more point I would want to point out is, Calcutta, for all its purposes, we are a much more a society, as a culture, we are out there on the streets in our political activities a lot more than any other Bangalore or any other city for that matter in Delhi. We have a lot more protests in the city. We have a lot a more vibrant political culture, a lot more processions coming out and things like that, which also affect our transport system and our traffic system. So, as the gentleman from Bangalore
But
was
Rohan,
saying, the
it's not like you
TomTom.
guys protest 365 days a year.
No,
It's
but
I'm
I
okay.
mean, so,
Even a generous estimate would be, for example, 30
no,
days a
because
year.
if you
What
see the
about the
last one
other
year,
300 plus days?
the last one year there was the elections in the state and in the country, so I'm just taking everything into account and defending my city here. But all of us, all taken aside, my city has, the population has increased drastically, the roads haven't increased in that demeanor, and the metro, which we were the first in the country, but as the Dr. Sudhir said, we haven't had that rapid improvement or increase in the metro, which now in the last 1 year has gone up.
Right.
But yeah, you wait to catch up with Delhi and Bangalore for that matter. But if the metro takes over, then we'll see the roads again getting better. And also, what has happened is with the increased cost, a lot of the public buses, you used to have a lot of public buses in the city, but they haven't been able to keep in touch with it because, the cost of the petrol has gone up, but the price for the customer hasn't gone up. So they've had to leave their buses, and the buses have gone out, and we've had Ubers and Olas and many other apps which have come in. So these are the things which are happening, but it is part of parcel of India because our rapid population growth and our unplanned cities, or the cities which the roads are not widening, that is the first thing we have to discuss, because nobody else will be able to provide any solution
Absolutely,
until or unless we
absolutely,
think about our population.
totally agree with you. Agree with you, Rohan. And I think a lot has to do with the people as well, and also the government not trying to upgrade the infrastructure, which is contributing. But Dr. Sudhir Krishna, I was just trying to understand, research a bit about what's happening, and I found that the West Bengal Transport Department has now revealed that in 2023, Kolkata has the highest vehicular density among all the metros in India. All the metros in India. There are 2,448 vehicles in Kolkata per kilometer of the road. Imagine, this is an incredible number. Now, Kolkata presently accommodates 45.3 lakh vehicles. This is nowhere close to what Delhi can accommodate. Delhi, for example, has 1 crore 32 lakh vehicles. But the catch here is that Kolkata only has 1,850 kilometers of road space. On the other hand, Delhi has 33,198 kilometers. So I think one of the aspects that's not really discussed is that in an aspirational country like India, where everyone now wants to have a four-wheeler, a three-wheeler, the problem is we don't have the roads for it. Yes, you are selling your two-wheelers, three-wheelers, four-wheelers. The sales are going up. There's a lot happening as far as manufacturing is concerned. But where are the roads? The roads are still the same.
Absolutely. I think, Mr. Ashish, you have mentioned very rightly. But people we should be owning vehicles. It is not good to expect people not to own automobiles, because it is a kind of people's desire to own, like house. You want to own a house, so
But
you want to
but
own
but
a car.
Sudhirji, the problem is public transport has to be encouraged as well.
Yes, exactly. The same thing I was going to say, that the private transport should be used sparingly, and that too for the purpose of weekend travel here and there, not for a daily commutation purposes. For that, public transportation has got to improve along with last mile connectivity, because you have to go use the metro, means you should know that you will reach your destination comfortably. After leaving the metro, there should be some arrangement to leave further and reach. So I think it is called comprehensive city mobility planning. There are guidelines from the Ministry of Urban Development or Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs for how to prepare an integrated city plan based on walk to work. Walk to work means you walk comfortably up to the mass transportation station like BRT or bus station or metro station, take the metro or bus, and then from there again you walk comfortably to your final destination. So it's called mobility planning. It's very well structured framework is available. Cities have started, but they are not giving enough attention. So I think it is high time that all cities prepare proper mobility plans supported by infrastructure development. It is necessary to have underpasses and flyovers wherever required. There is no option. So we have to develop that also, and mass transportation system, walkable roads, and the vending zones and so on.
Absolutely.
It is possible. Cities have to be, people will come to cities. There is no way we can prevent people from coming to city. Ring roads have to be developed. Bangalore developed ring
Absolutely.
roads. maybe one and
Dr.
and third.
Sudhir, I've only got a minute on the broadcast, and you're, of course, making a very valid point about the guidelines in place and how they have to be implemented as well. And I really need to get in Sandeep as well before we wrap this discussion up. Sandeep, now, like I said earlier as well, this is not a Kolkata issue, this is not a Bengaluru issue, it's an issue that affects a lot of metros across the nation. It's a fundamental issue that needs to be treated as well. For example, I'll just ask my team to play out the graphics about the top 5 most congested cities in the world. If you just have a look at it, 3 cities in the top 5 are from India. Sandeep, I don't think the day is very far away when walking will take us faster to our destination than either going by a car or a bus.
Ashish, it already does. In many parts of Bangalore, you can walk much quicker than the road. But while I agree with a lot of points that Dr. Sudhir was saying, I disagree with the priority that he lists them in. He says everybody should own a car, and then he comes to public transport. And then also he said something else in the wrong order. See, the point, he talks about public transport last, and he talks about tunnels and flyovers first. This is old, outdated planning. Present day planning, look at Singapore, look at Tokyo. They prioritize mass transit, and I'll give you some very interesting figures just after I explain to you the concept. They prioritize mass transit, they disincentivize private transport. Singapore is on track of going, their policy is called car light, which means they apply very heavy duties on cars. They have a quota, they have capped the number of private vehicles you can have in Singapore. You have to wait in quota to get a license to own a car. Then you have to pay 3 times the price to buy a car. And then you get a congestion tax and a parking fee which are exorbitant, which means you literally will go broke if you have a car in Singapore. And mass transit, they're incentivizing very heavily.
Sandeep, sorry to interrupt. We'll have to wrap in 30 seconds. So make your point
30
quick,
seconds,
please.
I'll tell you exactly what the issue is. Singapore, in a population of, I think their population is about 55 lakhs. Their private vehicle ownership is only 10 lakhs. And if you go to Tokyo, which is like 3.5 crore population, the size of Bangalore, their private vehicle ownership is only 30 lakhs, which is why they have healthy quality of life.
Absolutely,
Bangalore,
Sandeep. I'm being asked to wind up the discussion now, but a very valid point that you're making here is that the priorities across governments, across cities are misplaced as well. And I think I totally agree with the fact that you're making. The fact that public transport has to be prioritized in cities, in metros, and that's definitely the quickest solution to ensure that all these cities are decongested as well. We'll, of course, get more into this discussion in the future. But meanwhile, it's a wrap on this edition of the broadcast. And viewers, lots more lined up on the other side. Stay tuned.